Disagreements and arguments are a normal part of any relationship. It's how a couple argues that's most important. A bad argument can turn a little problem into a big one. A disagreement that seems silly and unimportant can become emotionally charged and painful. This is where fair fighting rules come in. Fair fighting rules don't tell us not to argue. Instead, they teach us how to argue safely without damaging our relationships. They tell us what's okay and what's crossing the line in an argument. Today, I'm going to teach you about 9 of these fair fighting rules. Number 1. Before bringing up a problem, ask yourself why you feel upset. Are you actually angry that your partner left mustard out on the counter, or is it really something bigger? If you bring up the mustard when the problem is really about housework, you're both going to be disappointed with the outcome. Your partner is going to wonder why you're so upset about the mustard, and you're going to be disappointed that the real problem goes unresolved. Number 2, discuss one issue at a time. Some couples have the tendency of unpacking their whole history during arguments. By the end, they're asking themselves, why are we even talking about this? How did we get here? By discussing too many issues at once, the original problem gets buried and nothing gets solved. This doesn't mean that multiple issues can't be important. It's just we can only focus our full attention on one at a time. Number 3. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Degrading language is never okay. That means no put-downs, no swearing at the other person, no name-calling. By using degrading language, you're telling your partner that they, as a person, are not okay. Discuss the issue, not the person. Number 4, express your feelings using words and take responsibility for your feelings. If you aren't sure how to express yourself, try using this sentence. I feel blank when blank. The first blank should be an emotion word, like angry, frustrated, upset, or hurt. The second blank should be a specific situation or problem. So, for example, I felt worried when you didn't return my phone call. By expressing your emotions verbally, your partner is more likely to empathize with you and to understand your point of view. Number 5, always take turns speaking. This one is a lot more challenging than it sounds. When you're in a serious discussion and you really want to be heard, it can be tempting to sit there and think about what you want to say rather than listening. And this usually leads to one person dominating the conversation. If you're having trouble following this rule, try setting a timer and allowing each person 1 minute to speak. When the speaker finishes, the listener should briefly summarize what they said before taking their own minute. Keep taking turns in this way until it's no longer necessary. Number 6, no stonewalling. Stonewalling is when someone refuses to engage in a discussion. Usually, someone will do this when they feel anxious about a conversation and they'd rather avoid it. This isn't usually intended to hurt the other person, it's more like a defense mechanism. However, when someone stonewalls, the problem goes unresolved. Number 7, no yelling. You might feel like you won an argument by yelling until your partner gives in, but no one's better off for it. The problem goes unresolved and now everyone's unhappy. Yelling usually doesn't come from nowhere. Try catching yourself while your voice is starting to rise, rather than waiting until you're shouting. Number 8, if you're finding that any of the rules are being broken or that things are just getting too heated, take a timeout. Spend 15 minutes apart doing something relaxing to calm down and collect your thoughts. Then, when the time is up, come right back to the discussion. Anyone can call a timeout at any time. Just be careful that timeouts aren't being used as a form of stonewalling. The goal is to take 15 minutes just so things can calm down a bit, then come right back to the conversation. Number 9, try to reach a compromise. There isn't always going to be a perfect resolution to every problem. It's up to you to know what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not. Just know, if you're not willing to compromise on anything ever, a lot of your problems are going to go unresolved. These are the 9 fair fighting rules. By following these rules, your arguments will become less painful and more manageable.